Can you see that crazy mess?
Yes, sir.
What I would like to do at this time is take a look at the tin,
Okay.
and like you said, and it should be in my.
Let me also point out to you because my anal retentive engineering nature will not be satisfied until I do, but Tonawanda is misspelled on that leftmost section
Thank
there.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Complete cosmetics. It has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, it's not letting me look, but let me try it again.
no, it should. Let's see. All right.
So I'm gonna go to Surface Viewer, and this is what you sent me. I know it's
Correct.
big,
Yeah.
but doesn't matter that. It should work now. Waiting for it to load, waiting for it to load, waiting for it to load.
What happened?
It's still thinking about it. So
Okay.
this is, by the way, 2021
Yep.
with AutoCAD 2021.
Okay. So
So
I'm using 2021 with IntelliCAD myself, but either way.
yeah, you're better off. I
I just,
let's give it a
it,
second. If this
yeah.
doesn't work, I'm gonna draw the tin out, and then I'm gonna view it. I wrote
Yeah.
the draw tin command. Give it about 10 more seconds. If not, I've never had a
Sure.
problem like this before, so it's been pretty stable, but over the years, Carlson. But 2021 is the first time things started hitting the fan, and I think it has to do with AutoCAD 2021.
It might. Are you using the 21 version of AutoCAD as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So let me get out of this. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna bypass this. I'll show you what we'll do here. I don't know why it kicked me out of screen share, but
Yeah. Let's see. I've got, let's
kicked
see.
me out of screen share. Well, I
It's
crashed the
okay.
whole program.
Uh,
But a bum bum. Let me get
no,
in the program.
you're still in screen share. You're just sharing your first screen.
Yeah, let's reopen because it crashed AutoCAD. So I'm just gonna
Okay.
reopen that file again. And here we go. Just bear with me a second.
Hmm.
And the drawing I was looking for is right over here. I'm gonna recover it. I guess not. So let's try something. Bless you. All right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw that surface. It's one way to circumnavigate this. Let's see if this is something else. And then I'm going to I'm going to draw this surface as a, let's go back on to Carlson Civil. And let's draw the surface. I want to draw a mesh of what you sent me, just so we could look at the spikes.
That's a shame. You really shouldn't have to do it that way. That just adds a huge amount of data into your drawing file.
It does.
But
Let me try one more time to see if I can see it.
but
Now that I've crashed.
before you load that,
You know, I've
uh,
hey, yeah, I've lost all my Carlson commands. You see what's happened? I've lost all my commands. This has been going on since I downloaded Carlson, um, the latest version. I'm going to restart again, and what happens is occasionally I lose all my Carlson pull downs, my Carlson
mm,
commands, and I also lose my quick keys. And I've talked to Lon and all them, the other guy, that other poor soul who takes all the calls in their tech support. And this is the third or fourth time that this has happened to me, and they can't seem to tell me what's going on. So let me see if I have everything. No, I'm sorry for this delay.
no, it's quite all right.
Okay, now it's working. Now
Okay.
I got it working. And we're gonna try this one last
Yeah, but
time,
before
unless you want to
before
do
you
something first.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, before you do that, go to your file menu, go down to your drawing utilities and run an audit
Okay.
and see, just tell it yes for that. And let me
Mhm.
see if it's picking up anything.
Mhm. Okay.
I I didn't
Okay.
see.
Yeah.
I didn't see
I
that. Did
think.
it tell you that it fixed any or not? I didn't see. Uh, there you
Yeah.
go.
Quite a few
Yeah.
of them.
Okay.
So.
So that might have been, if you go ahead and do a save now again, and that
Uh huh.
may be part of what's going on with that surface
Okay.
viewer.
Let's take a look at the Surface Viewer. And here we go. It's a big one, but it should be. Oh, here we are. We're
There it
cooking
is.
with gas now,
Okay.
and let's see what we got going here. Yeah. I don't think that. I think these might be. Well, they might.
Yeah,
This
there's,
might be a typo. I think he shot the top of a pole. It's
uh-huh,
definitely not a cloud. Um,
right.
but there are stockpiles of junk here, so
Yeah, that's
you
really
walk the
what we
site.
need to find out. Let me,
They did some digging on the site, and there are stockpiles of junk.
okay, so as long as those are
Okay.
legitimate. Now, let me,
Mhm.
uh,
If you could take
let's
her
see.
over.
Yeah, if I, let me see something here. If I, let's put, get a little shadow going here. Yeah, the couple of things that I'm concerned a little bit about are
Mhm.
like right here, this is looking down
The ditch don't look so nice.
Tonawanda. Yeah, the ditch, and even, I mean, look at the edges of the road.
It wasn't a
Uh,
nice survey. It wasn't the best tin. Well,
right.
let me say that it wasn't the best survey, and it's not a nice tin. I'll say it politically
Yeah,
correctly that way.
yeah, I gotcha. And now let's see what I like to do sometimes is, let's see, do you have the layer that shows
Which
the
one?
the contours? Let me see here.
I sure do. Slide down to C dash
You can still do it
contour
as
dash.
well. You
Oh,
can
really?
still draw it.
Okay. I don't
Oh
wanna.
yeah. No,
I don't
no,
wanna
it's
override if
it's
you're
yeah.
here.
No, it's not.
So
When
I
I
have.
yeah,
I got some existing contours.
yeah, it's those that I want to look at.
Okay, these are all the existing contours. I'm gonna make them a color. What color do you want them so we could see them?
Well, no, those are fine. Uh,
Can you see them
it's
in
a
gray?
fine. Yeah, yeah. So what I want to,
Okay.
yes, you see them there
So
now.
here's that little
Yeah.
pile, and here's another pile.
Yeah. Here's something that I do a lot
Uh huh.
to help visualize this weirdness um,
Mhm.
with those surfaces is if you select
Mhm.
the drawn elements, and then if you view the drawing viewer,
Yes, sir.
so there they are, right? And then
Yeah, that's a
and you can
better
see,
way to
by the way,
see.
too, there's a
There's
couple of glitches
something on
there
the
that
C
you guys,
there.
yeah.
In
Uh,
fact, the I got yeah, those blue lines are sanitary sewer pipes that I haven't turned into 3D polylines. So you could ignore
yeah.
those. Anything you see in
Okay.
gray are brake lines or
Well,
contours
I'll
that
tell
will
you what,
affect
let's
this
do
thing.
then.
We could shut that layer if you want.
Well, I want to isolate.
Yeah, there's
Uh,
two. Yeah, there's two layers of contours. Um, some are on the existing and some are on the demo, but that's what I use to create. Um,
whoops. What's he gonna do here?
yeah,
What is that? All right, so here's the
it's that one right there.
that one, yeah.
Yeah, those are yeah. And then there's some off. No, those that's pretty much you got everything. I mean, there might be
Yeah.
some off site, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
what helps to sort of helps me
Mhm.
sometimes looking at these, look at those
Mhm.
as drawing elements, and then
Yeah.
I superimpose this
Mhm.
surface model,
Mhm. Okay.
and then that way you can sort of get drawn to
Where the where the
yeah, where some
break
problems are.
line
And so
problems are.
yeah, so right in there you can see like there's really not any contours on the road itself.
Yeah, and there's an
Uh,
abscess in the driveway where there it really shouldn't be one. There's no ditch in the driveway there. Well, actually, yeah, it just looks like there's a hole there, but that's a minor problem because
you,
it's going to
you
be
know, right
removed
in here,
anyway.
yeah, right.
Seems to be some kind of an abscess in there that when I walked the site there wasn't. A couple other little holes like that
Yeah,
in there.
but now, like you
But there
said, there
are
are
there are
some,
definitely stockpiles on this
yeah.
site. They did some digging, some no-no things that they should have
Now,
done.
yeah, now is this right in here? Is
An
that an
existing
entrance into
driveway.
the site? Okay,
It
so
is. There's a house on this site now, and it's
all
got
right,
a gravel driveway, and you can see the gravel driveway. And up to the north, where there's another break in the ditch, there's another driveway, but that doesn't connect to the house. So right up there,
up in here,
there's another gravel driveway, and it just goes off and meanders into the forest. And
yeah,
that's
okay,
where we chose to. That made the most logical sense of
for
where to
your
put our
entrance,
our new road
yeah,
because it's already
okay,
high, and the rest of the site is wetland. So we'll talk about that in a minute.
all right. So now, like right in here, uh, the stockpile bit might be okay, but probably. And the sad thing is,
Mhm.
I was looking at all those points. Those points are identified as toes and tops. I don't
Mhm.
think they
That's
bothered to
got.
create them as break lines.
I
I don't
don't
know.
think they did. I the surveyor was a nice guy, but I couldn't get him to do things the way I normally
Yeah,
don't use this surveyor, and the the owner of the site's from Ireland, and he just wanted everything done in world record speed. And I say things are different here,
sure, sure.
and it wasn't. I mean, he shot everything, but I mean, he didn't even shoot the water surface in the creek, and I
Hmm.
was a bit taken a bit back by the surveyor. And but it's enough for us to do
Yeah,
what we
that's
got to do.
right, and that's really going to be your call. I mean, we can fix
Yeah.
this. This can be done, but we don't want to
Hmm.
spend
Right. Would you
your
use
your budget. Your
contour?
time. Yeah.
Would you use contour? Would you like to? Maybe I should have used interpolate bottoms of.
Nah,
There's a
nah.
few
That
settings,
yeah,
but
there are those, and I find that they don't. I mean, they're there. They it's comfort food, if you will, but I don't find that they
yeah,
work very well. I
yeah,
don't think the algorithm
yeah.
is all that
Now
robust,
that creek is pretty accurate.
at least on
There is a creek, and
on the
it
banks. Yeah.
actually is an island, and it has an
Uh
island
huh.
and a V
It's good.
and a Y.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
that's accurate. The way it did the tins was a little shaky across the
Right.
bottom of it, but for all intents and purposes,
Mm-hmm.
that's not. It's
Okay.
very hard to get any 3D program to make a smooth swale
Yeah.
to get the triangles to be where I want them to go without ridges.
Yeah. So if there's if there's anything that's like I would bet, for instance, this business right here doesn't really exist like that. That's probably just a continuous channel through there, I'm guessing.
It
Maybe
is.
not.
It's
Uh,
well, it's a continuous channel, but it's filled with the silt, and it's gonna be, you know,
yeah. Okay.
bulldozed. Yeah,
Yeah, like I said, it could be inconsequential as long as you don't have to, bid on the earthwork when you're down to the thimble fold, then you should be all right. So, so I'll do a little bit of obvious cleanup, like adding in some brake lines that are
Might define the
basically
bottom at
called
least.
out
Yeah.
tops and toes, uh,
Yes, sir.
and I think that'll clear it up. But I did want to find out if these stockpiles are there.
They
Uh,
are indeed. That
so
I can
yeah.
confirm. I've walked the site. He dug his own hole, so to speak, because he by by digging all this, I don't know what he was trying to do, but he sunk the site and he created a lot of pockets, which became wetlands. So
Yeah.
he was
Wow.
upset, and I said, well, you know, you kind of did yourself in. You have hydric soil to begin with, and you
Right.
created cattails, and you brought your wetland consultant in, and
Oh, Lordy
what?
goodness. Yeah.
Now you did yourself in. You shouldn't have dug that. You made your swamp. You made your site a swamp, and it grew
Yeah.
cattails, and now the Army Corps is on you.
Yeah.
Not that
Well, I
they
was
wouldn't
gonna
have been
say,
for the
yeah, I
back,
know.
but
And the conservation district's probably hounding for their pound of flesh for erosion control too, with all that kind of dirt moving around. But
well,
who knows?
in that creek is the old barge canal, and that's a historic creek. So
Oh.
I think during they told me they I don't know this, but they told me these things. They have people in the boat that actually watch during construction with binoculars while you're doing the job, just to give you a hard time. So I'm
Oh,
looking forward to that.
yeah, I bet you are. All right. Now, let's
Yeah, so we could go and clean this up here.
yeah, let me yeah, like I said, well, I'll put a little bit of effort onto that, but not a whole lot. Now, when
Mhm.
we
Mhm.
also, let me pull this back out. Now, I presume that I see there's like
These are
four
all other
different,
junk. Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
but I
Try
presume this
to
is the one that is the
the one
coordinate
with the
correct.
circle. Yeah, and you could see those
Yeah.
doodles I did of. I was
Yep.
trying to take a shot and a prayer at what the
Mm-hmm.
back of the lots are going to look like
Sure. Sure.
with retaining
Okay.
walls, because
Yep.
there's the reason the site is so much high compared to the neighbors is I have to get the LOMR or LOMF. I got to raise everything in this town 2 feet above floodplain. So there's gonna be a lot of fill,
Mm.
and either to do it the right way, I'd have to build all these houses on stilts
Right.
and have all
Yeah.
the water go underneath. But that's not going to fly. So there's so much fill in the back that the property
Mm-hmm.
line itself is going to have a retaining wall, which I spoke about in our email. In that retaining
Yeah.
wall, he would like it to be gabion basket because he
And
wants to
that's
fill it with
this
some
one here.
decorative rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that fence line that you see there is sitting right on the gabion wall, and I don't have much real estate between the gabion and the back. And see the steps on the patio. If I wanted to get them down to grade
Mm-hmm.
without a retaining wall, I'd have to have about 10 or 12 steps, and
Right.
it would just muck up completely the back, as well as the grades around the. You almost have to have a walkout basement. Well, I don't know what possessed him to have a basement here, but um,
Mm.
let me just show you one other thing before
Sure.
we
Sure.
go. I want to show you just one other thing. I have here the wetlands, and I'm going to temporarily turn them on
Sure.
just to show you what I'm trying to what the town wants me to achieve here.
Now, it looked like, by the way, Andrew, that you have a good handle on. You've got a number of different layer states, so you can
Yes,
recover
sir.
things. Okay, because
I do. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. All right, so there's one thing I want to show you on some of this too when we take a look at it as well. So
yeah,
and a command that
yeah,
we can
for
use to
sure.
fix some stuff.
So my existing wetlands are. I'm just going to turn them on temporarily like this. They are not isolated. They're here. So
Right.
they said, please don't disturb more than a half an acre. So
Mm.
I did a little bit of fiddling around, and whatever you see in gray, I did
Uh-huh.
some rough projections down to grade, and that's the gray areas of what I'm disturbing. You can actually see.
Yeah, the areas
So
there.
any way I can, I haven't thought about it yet, but any way I can, make this wetland
The
disturbance smaller.
the
Although
the
I am putting a retention basin here with bioretention. So
Right. Okay.
you gain some, you lose some, and
Hmm.
so that's one thing I wanted to show you. The other thing is I'm pretty nervous about the floodplain because
Yeah.
the floodplain, and this is not going to affect what you and I do today, but the floodplain is, if you overlay the tin map, this shaded
Hmm.
area is the floodplain, and it's
Right.
based on the elevation given in the firm map. However, that true elevation, the datum, if you turn on the real floodplain,
Uh,
the real floodplain rarely ever matches the
oh,
firm map
well,
because
of
of the
course. Yeah.
screwing around they did. And the real floodplain is way over here.
Right.
So all these areas, you get a good understanding of what I have to do to build up this site. And the floodplain administrator is a really nice guy. He said he would give me, as a floodplain administrator, he would give me an approval without going through the normal floodplain, as long as I raise the house 2 feet
Hmm.
above the finished floor 2 feet above the floodplain elevation, and my basements are not habitable spaces. He'd give me a
Right.
permit. However,
Okay.
the DEC and the Army Corps might make me do some compensation like normal.
Yeah.
And you can see I have a pond here that's
Hmm.
part of the floodplain, and that's connected to this other pond. And so I guess the only thing going for that we have going for us here is that I pre-designed the pond based on all the requirements for water quality and stormwater drainage. So the pond I have pretty much set in stone,
Okay.
and so these ponds have been pre-sized. I just haven't. I've laid out a storm sewer, but I just haven't got the storm sewer system designed to dump into these ponds. And these ponds,
Yeah.
the bottom of these ponds can be raised, but they can't be lowered because if I lower them, then I don't have the minimum cover over my discharge point, which is over here. So that I
Okay.
wanted to point out before we go back to this.
Yep.
Looks like a very nice site, but it's a devastating. I've never done anything like this, and I was
Yeah.
going to put these fake property lines in, but I didn't even do that because I forgot whether or not the property lines had to be closed
No,
or
no, they're
whether
just
lot
no,
was
it's just line.
okay.
Yeah, it's just line work.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
yeah, they can
See,
just
I did
be
a first one there.
they can just be the sidelines between the houses, and it will elevate those.
Yeah, we can
Um,
do that later. So.
yeah. So now, but one of the things too, in looking at everything, I'm
Hmm?
going to let's see,
Yes.
where's our layer manager? Oh, wait a minute,
Hmm.
and forget you don't.
In
Uh,
what you do, I'll get it for you. And see,
bring
in
up
if you're
your
not using
layers.
IntelliCAD, if you're not
I
using
am, but
IntelliCAD,
I'm on your system here, so I don't
sure.
forget where you look at
Mine
your
are in
layer
here then.
states.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. All
Here's
right, so
mine.
just as long as you've got all that, that you can put this back to the way this is here. I want to turn
Yes, sir.
everything. I want to thaw everything and turn everything
Sure.
on.
Go right ahead. Yes.
So, all righty. So we're going to
Yeah, just turn
let
everything
me
on and
thaw and on all
yes,
layers,
sir.
and we'll freeze off a few of these here that we don't need. Uh,
Hmm.
to have on.
I
But
tried to grade the road by hand and it didn't go very well. You can see the purple lines are 3D polylines. I tried to do it by
yeah,
hand and it didn't go very well. So
oh, they're fine. So for now, but
I'll
there's a
try to do
couple
the
of
old hard way.
yeah, but there's a couple of things that I wanted
Hmm.
to bring your attention to because it might be something that
Yes.
needs to be resolved, or it could be something that you
Hmm.
could just safely ignore. I'm trying to
Hmm. Hmm.
just get those. You know, oops, let me undo that one
Hmm.
because that could be
Yeah,
some
those
of
are
these.
just
All
I'm
right.
just guessing.
Yeah,
what I'm doing with the wall. I
that
know that's
that's fine.
in the
Now,
pie in the sky.
yeah. So now, what what I did notice is that there are, and I'm just wow, it's taking a while to react. There we go. So see,
There you
you've
go.
got it. You've got some things that are elevated,
Mhm.
like if
Yes,
you
sir.
see where those contours are, those are fine.
And my fake road. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and then all of
Yes.
this stuff in here seems
Seems to
ten
be
looks like
zero.
it's around zero, but then there's
Yes, sir.
you've got a few things like these
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
these.
Yeah. Yeah.
This one up here,
That one up
which
there. Yeah.
you got these other ones as well, and you've
Yeah.
got all of these things, and they're all down
Yes, sir.
at
Yes, sir.
non-zeros. Now, the one thing I wanted
Yes,
you
sir.
to let me go back to
Could do a
this.
drawing cleanup maybe and get everything
Yeah,
other than my
exactly,
range on a zero. Maybe I can do something like that.
exactly. So if I look
Yeah.
at these things like some of this stuff, I just want to make sure whether or not it. See that's completely inconsequential. It's a label leader. It looks like. All right.
Yes, sir. It is.
And then, and that may be all these others are too. I didn't really
Still, it'd be nice to have them on zero so
do
they
it.
don't interfere with what we're
Yep.
doing.
As well as there's some those other things that are like way below zero. So I
Yes.
just wanted you to,
Those are like depth points. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So
I could run that command if you want.
yeah, I keep trying to do it. I
I just
keep hitting. I
have to.
guess it's the ribbon tab. So
You can go to the. This is my settings, but you can go to ribbon if you want. I just.
no. I
So.
kept hitting those. I was missing the menu itself. So I'm going to clear this and just do
The
this,
elevation
and
render,
then
sure.
I'll scan the drawing. Yeah, see, you
Yeah,
got
you can
some that are
see my
so now
ranges are in the six, whatever.
600. So if we go to like
Yeah,
200
you
to
can even
let's
go to
say
500 to
850,
800. Yeah,
let's 850.
just make 500 to 800 or something.
All right,
'Cause
yeah,
that's
there we
safe.
go. All righty. I just didn't.
There we go.
I just want to make sure there was nothing that you had specifically at a non-zero or
Yeah, like
what.
I said, that those purple lines were 3D ponds, but I can't use those anyway. We're gonna have to end up
Oh, that's
erasing those in a
yeah,
minute.
and that's fine. That's fine too. But now we've
There you
got
go.
yeah.
That's more like it.
Now what is
Might just be that
that?
came
That's
from site ops, so you can erase it. That actually came from site ops.
okay.
No, when I imported it, I had a problem with site ups.
Uh,
I put site ups through the gyrations on this baby.
yeah, good. What? Let's see. There we go.
Site ups has a weird time doing stairs, though.
Use the hatch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah that
All
could
right.
almost be. I don't know. That could be. I don't know why it's not
You know
erasing the
why
hatch,
it's
but
why is it not at zero? Is the thing. Where
you
is
might have to
your?
explode and then erase it. Yeah.
Where is? Let's see. Turn this on so I can
There you
see.
are. Yeah,
And
it's
so
way down
now
below the earth.
it's a negative. Uh, there we go. That's what I was looking for. It can just be here, right?
Hmm.
All right. So now it looks like we have things up at the site and down
Yes,
at zero. That's what we needed.
that is very nice. That's very nice. I like that.
Yeah. All right. So now you can set your layer state back the way you were
Sure.
working with and save
Yeah.
this and do whatever.
Sure. Let me. I think we were looking at grading. Well, let's start with layout and talk simple for now,
All right.
and then save it, and that's pretty slick. Okay.
All right.
Now, again, I took a beginning stab at the sanitary sewers, and
Mm-hmm.
these are 3D, but they're on depth points, but they're 3D. And
Okay.
I found out that I did not need a pump station, but based on
Yeah.
the elevations, I came up with minimum finish floor. And let's just freeze those for now because we don't need those.
All right.
Unless you want to see what the minimum finish floors are for what
Ah,
we're doing by the road.
it's fine. Anything's fine.
I'll just
Don't
freeze those.
necessarily, but freeze off your sewers.
All right,
Okay.
now we're back at square zero. The first item of business that I had was I have created a roadnet file and I actually have a vertical profile with vertical curves, and
Okay.
I just had a difficult time transitioning from. You can see where I'm transitioning here
Sure.
to this section, and then I'm transitioning to this section, which is exactly the same except it has a sidewalk
Uh-huh.
on both sides of the road because it has a wonky pedestrian path. So I can
Okay.
show you by RoadNet.
Uh,
Uh,
yeah, and you can either have that double sidewalk and single sidewalk as part of the road template, or you could add the sidewalk after the fact. Either one would be
we can.
fine, and
I've
it's
thought about.
yeah.
Yeah. The I thought about adding that after the fact. The thing about adding it after the fact was even though this is not a public right of way, this
Mm-hmm.
would have to be handicap accessible, and that means
Sure.
if I would have to bend the vertical profile down to meet what the driveway grade is, because this driveway grade
Mm-hmm.
is much lower than where the sidewalk has to be, or else there's going to be a
Right.
massive
Right. Right.
speed bump right here. So therefore,
Yep.
about 5 or 6 feet away, I'm going to have to dunk it down here, and then I'm going to have to dunk it
Mm-hmm.
down here. I just didn't
Mm-hmm.
know how to do that
Oh yeah.
accurately
No. No. No.
in a
That's absolutely
profile.
fine. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely
And
fine. And
the
in
profile would
fact,
also cut the driveway, so I didn't know what to do about
yeah.
that. Another
No. No.
situation I'd never been
Yeah. And
faced with before.
that would be what I would consider. I'm trying to see if I'm starting out there now. Your stationing goes around
Oh,
this
let me turn that on. Yeah, I could turn that on. Yeah, that's
that
exactly the
way.
way it. My stationing's here.
So I'm saying we're going to be
Sorry about
with
that.
no, it's all right. We're going to be one
Here you
side
go.
sidewalk.
So I'm starting here at zero.
Yeah.
These are the horizontal points of curvature.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm basically I had another problem because
Okay.
I
So
looped onto
you don't
myself
yeah.
rather than making a separate circle out of this, and I don't know how
Right.
Lon felt about that.
No, that shouldn't be a problem. So you can bring that on around, and you don't pick up the double sidewalk till you get to that boardwalk.
To
Yeah. Okay.
the double sidewalk starts at 1301.
Yeah, and goes up.
So
So it's just a little
yeah,
tail end of that road. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. So
Now,
basically, yeah. Go ahead, and then I'll show
yeah,
you what I tried to do,
yeah,
but it didn't work.
and this business here at the front, you see how we're wider and we got a little boulevard looking, a little median
There's
thing,
a little island that the town
and
wanted me
there's
to add, and I know there's a way to do it,
yeah,
but it didn't work. The
sure,
median tool, yeah.
but yeah, but you know what? That's really a tough tool to figure out.
He said
This
that it was, but
yeah, and it's really there. I'll show you what my approach to that is to
sure.
leave the island off until you're done, and then
We can
we add it.
actually add the island later as long as I see
Yep.
it in my profile.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Uh,
yeah.
and then now what we have here, I don't know what are these 12-foot lanes or something.
Well, he wanted a 31-foot wide road here from curb to curb, and he wanted
Yeah,
it to narrow. The town guy wanted it to narrow down to 20 here.
20.
So,
Wow.
yeah. So
So
I
10
got
foot
away with.
lanes. Yeah.
they have
All
a
right.
smaller
So
fire truck, and this is a private road.
yeah,
So,
yeah, okay.
but
All right. So
they wanted the front definitely to be 31.
right. So here's what we can do, and I know that you're looking at this, say, well, I've got to go. I've got this 31 foot
Yes, you get a
template up
transition.
here and a 20-foot
Yeah.
template down here, but you really only need the 20-foot template, and you can
Okay.
handle this part if you can picture to yourself what the 20-foot would look like, through here. That's
Yeah, when
the
I first ran it, that's how exactly it was. It went
right.
all
So
the way
so
to the street without a radius.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that is the main
Mhm.
definition, and then you
Yes.
could. And this is one approach.
Mhm.
It's a thing called the template point center line, which we
Okay.
would, starting at zero, at station
Mhm.
zero, instead of
Mhm.
on the normal template, the edge of
Yes.
pavement would be at 10 feet left, 10 feet right.
10 feet right. Yes.
All right. So then you're going to
Yes.
start over here and you're going to draw a
Mhm.
line and come all the way around.
And
You're going to basically draw this until you get to that 10-foot width.
right.
You do the same
Exactly.
thing on this side until you
Right.
get down to
Right.
the
Right.
10-foot width. And then you
The 2D
declare
polyline. Yeah.
these as template
Mhm.
point center lines. And what that command does is it says, do your normal template, except in the areas where you find these
Mhm.
designated, in
Mhm.
this case, template point
Mhm.
center lines. That takes care
Yeah.
of the horizontal. You got the same thing
Yeah.
for the profile. All right.
Yeah.
So what it does is when it sees those as taking on a separate path, it
Mhm.
interrupts what the template says it should be, and it
Mhm.
goes out and finds out where this tells it should be, and it
That's
sets the
exactly
element.
what I want. That's
Yeah.
I you know why? Because Lon tried to make Tonawanda Creek Road a dummy road and didn't go so
Well,
well
well, that's
for
fine
some reason.
too.
I don't know. It
And
just didn't
well,
go well. He shared my
yeah.
screen and it didn't. I preferred the template point center line. I would have preferred to have done it that way, but we ran
Well,
out of time
well,
together.
yeah, but we still have to know what this elevation is here and this elevation here that we're going to tie into.
Yes.
Now, one he's talking about too, if if you could model just a piece of this road
Yeah.
as a
And that
as
road is
its
wonky. You
own
saw
three,
the tin.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it needs to have the template defined for that road, and then it treats this road and that road as an intersection. Um, so if you were to pick that up and move it, to another part of the road that was defined, it would tie all that stuff in together. The problem is we don't have this definition. We don't know what that road looks like, either from
No, we
the,
can pull up some spot elevations, like you said, where the curb
yeah,
meets. But other than that, I was using the edge
yeah,
of the road because that's
hmm,
where I felt my my comfort level with the survey died.
right,
Right
right,
at
right,
that magic line, so I didn't
and
really want to extend anything into that road.
yeah, and
Such
see,
as
and
it.
these are all these. Well, that's yeah,
Stripes.
these are all, yeah, these are, and
That's
they're
edge of
2D,
pavement. That's stripe. Yeah,
and
that's center
that's
stripe
that's
center
the
line. There's your center line from the survey.
okay, yeah.
The rest are
So now,
stripes, edge of
yeah,
shoulder, and edge of pavement.
yeah. So we could make the assumptions on those
Mhm.
cross section shapes and put that down there. And the only reason he's wanting to do that in terms of doing that little dummy road is so that you could intersect these two roads and it will blend the intersection. If you don't
Sure, and get a
have that,
flare. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And if you don't have that blend, now see that takes care of what it would do. Let's say Tonawanda Road has a little dip in it right in here. Okay, so it would handle that. Otherwise, we're left with just assuming it from here to here is a linear change. Well, it probably is, across that edge.
More or less, we could assume we could simulate it as we can assume that it is. I mean,
Yeah,
it's the
because
road's an old country road. I could show it to you on Google Earth.
yeah, yeah.
There's no
Well,
curb. It's very poorly
yeah, and
defined.
so what? Yeah, I mean, what the contractor is going to do when he builds this road is he's going to go out there and get his curb returns in, and he's going to take his
feather it in. Yeah.
paving machine, and he's going to blend that in anyway.
Yeah, you're
So,
gonna feather it in there. Yeah.
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 So there's no real total necessity to do that. Although, like I said, we will need to know this elevation and this elevation. And I think we
Yes,
can
sir.
find that pretty well. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure of the 57803 because I had to know that, but I'm pretty
Okay.
sure I can find the others. We won't worry about where the sidewalk returns into the street for right now. I can always add that a little bit later. But as long as
Um,
I have the sidewalk as part of the, that's a gutter. But you can see the sidewalk right
yeah,
there.
right
We
in
can worry
here.
about that a
Uh
little bit
huh.
later. That's just
Okay.
something that the town wanted me to do.
All right.
Um,
Yeah. Now,
but
what? Well, what the road, what road net will do
mhm,
when we use that template point center line, that
just
sidewalk
end right there,
will end like
and right there,
right there. Yeah. And so
which
then
is
you can,
perfect.
yeah, you can
I
add this
could take
part
it. I
onto
could
it.
use 3D poly lines to
Yep.
make the rest work.
Exactly right. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
All righty. Now let's see the rest of that. So let me show you how
I mean, I
that
can show you what I tried to do that didn't work
business is
so
going to
far,
go.
but
Yeah. Let's take a look at what. Let's look at your road now. I'll let you drive a while now.
here we
So
go.
show me that.
Here, there's my center line,
Mm-hmm.
and pretty. No, sorry, I didn't want to do that. There it is, and
Yeah.
then I did profile, and the profile was very straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really do too much here. If I go above, this is a 0.5% slope, this is a 0.5% slope. If I go any higher, this is the area where the wetlands are, and I'm gonna, by the time I daylight my 3 on one side slope down to grade, I'm gonna disturb more than a half an acre wetland. So I don't
Sure.
want to go
Sure.
higher than this point here.
Mm-hmm.
I also
Right.
don't want to go lower than this point here. The reason being is, if I go any higher, I'm sorry, if I go any lower than that point, my finished floor elevations are going to be below 2 feet below the floodplain.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'm really restricted here, and it's good. It's good in a way because I have my restraints pretty well defined.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad in a way because I have to balance the cut and the fill by manipulating the bottom of the ponds, depending on whether I'm in cut or fill. So
Yeah.
that's assuming this soil is even balanceable. I hope it's
All
not
right.
because
Yeah.
it's easier to bring in fill for this nightmare. So, but there we are. And the other problem that I had, I think the open roads pr- program has a better way of doing this. But where my where my see this point here where my road circles back on itself,
Uh-huh.
that's right about here on the profile. And I
Okay.
had a hard time. If there was another intersection, um, it would have automatically matched the end of the road grade here to this where it's supposed to be here. I
Right.
had a difficult
Exactly
time
right.
with
Mm-hmm.
that because it's not its own separate road. It's
Right.
just looping on itself, and I didn't make a circle out of that, which is what
Mm-hmm.
they did
Mm-hmm.
in the webinar. So okay, so I'm going to show you that. That's what I did, and then here are my 3 templates. I'd like to show you them.
All right.
Here's the very first one. The very first one from 00 to 0.44 is my 31-foot wide road.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when I when what screwed up, Lon was pretty nifty, but something he did here, he put in this dummy thing here, and I understand why he did it, but because the dummies on these template files didn't coincide one another, the template transition didn't work very well. And the only reason he put that dummy in was
That was to
in this
transition
particular
so
case.
that you have the
Yeah.
same named points. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah. That I have no problem with this cross section or the other two that I'm about to show you, but when he put in the dummy, it
mm-hmm.
it didn't process it didn't process nicely.
Well,
So let me
yeah,
pull up the other two. I do have the 20-foot one with the sidewalk only on the right side, and then I have the 20-foot with the sidewalk on both sides. You could see it over here.
yep, all right,
And if we can do like you said, make the 20-foot, and let me just run it. Let's just process it and see what it gets us here. Hope it works today. Yeah. Actually,
yeah,
you know what?
there
That's
we go.
not so bad. I didn't. Not so bad. That's because there's no trumpet transition, so that's kind of nice.
Yep,
Um, um, not so bad at all. Let me take a look at that. Oh, if only life was simple, right?
yeah,
We got this thing here. Let's see here. If and I didn't really mess too much with my output settings. I could have done a lot better. But lo and behold, that's what I wanted.
yeah.
You can see my um,
That's
you
just
can
3D.
see
That's just
exactly.
3D line work. Yeah,
Yeah, you can see it did a nice job.
right.
I mean, there's a few areas where the culvert crossing, the grade's a little bit high because of
Hmm.
those stockpiles over here, but we're gonna
Yeah.
grade over that anyway when we do the lot raising.
Hmm.
There's a stock. You could see that there's a stockpile going on over there.
Right.
And but that did what I like to do. Then I called him over and I said, "Hey guys, I want to do a temper transition," and it kind of hit the fan, and I got my money's worth for him, but he can't be on the phone more than 10 minutes.
Right.
So,
Right.
and that's where I left off on the transition. I kind of like what you did, what you were talking about
Yeah.
transitioning.
All right. Well,
But let's,
let's
yeah,
let me show you how that's done, and I'll talk you through it.
yes, sir.
First thing I'm going to do is set this
Yeah.
variable up so that my circles stay circles for a while. There we go. Now, all right. So what we're gonna do? Let's make a new layer, um,
Yes, sir.
and let's call it. Uh,
Mhm.
just
Yep.
call it template centerline, and let's make it red so that we are
Mhm.
aware of. Uh, so
Mhm.
we're
Yep.
basically very definitely there. We can set that as our current.
Mhm.
All right, now we have
I think that
this.
that curve goes a little far. We could trim that off. It doesn't have to go all the way to there. It could go right where my
All right.
578/24 is. That's where it
Well,
really hits the geometry in 2D.
okay. All
And I
right.
don't need
So
that long.
so what I really want is I want to basically a curb return between this edge and
Uh-huh.
that edge.
Yes, sir.
No, that edge is
No,
that.
it's no. You got to be careful here because I
Yeah,
have a gutter
that's the
and I
right.
have a
That's
face
the
of curb and then I have a bottom of curb and a top of curb. Yeah.
right.
So you
So
can actually see.
so what I want
Yeah. You want the
to
face of
do,
curb.
yeah.
Actually, you know what? That's just a visual, a 2D visual
Are your curbs
of the
are they square curbs or wedge curbs?
they're square. I mean, you could go back into the template and look at them if you want.
That's what I thought I remembered seeing. Yeah, right here. There they are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. So that's fine. Um, so what I want to do is I want to define the edge of pavement, which is this line right here,
Oh, okay. So that's
all
the
the way
edge of gutter.
around.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah. That makes a
because
difference. Yeah.
yeah, because it's the edge of pavement that I'm going to be pushing away from
Got it.
my defined center line. Okay.
So you
So
want it to be the edge of gutter. Okay.
yeah, so I want to draw from
Right there
whatever
at
point.
For
Yeah,
90.43 is where the transition is over. You can actually see where the horizontal transition is over is actually where the transition to the other section to
that's where
ends.
you yeah, that's where you
90.43
all right. So if
right
I
there on the
were
curve.
to draw, in fact, let's do you have everything on the single layer for the corridor?
Well, you can get rid of the you can freeze the tin. It's just on a break line, a 3D break line layer, and you can freeze it if you want.
Well,
The
I don't want to
contours are
have
on
it. I don't
another
want to
layer.
yeah, but I don't want to have it out there. I want to
If you want,
ah,
you could change the entire. I
it's
could change
just
the whole. Yeah, we could erase it all.
that's what I wanted to find out was if it were a single or did
There
you
you
put
go.
all this you didn't put the subgrades and all that on individual ones.
I
Now
did.
this
I have
is
no subgrades. I do that some
all
other
right.
way or with SiteNet or something. That's a temporary contour that I forgot to give a defined layer name to in the settings of RoadNet,
It's all right.
and you can
So,
temporarily erase that as well. That just shows where it wanted to put um, contours based on that tin we just erased.
and we'll
And there we go.
it's not gonna it's not gonna take any other
It's not going to wreck
stuff
anything
out.
because it's on. I just
All right.
didn't. Yeah. See what it did? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Now, if we take uh, I'm going to exit this
Actually, you make a good
just
point. You know why? On the left side of the road, the template centerline point is going to be different than on the right. The full
that is correct.
transition is going to be right where your mouse is on the left side. However, the full
Uh,
transition is going to be a little farther down the right side of the road because you can see the geometry of the way that the town wanted me to do that.
yep. Yep.
I mean, I could change that, but to make it easier, but that's just the way it. That's just life, the way it works out. I
Right.
centered it between the two houses.
Right. So now, all right, you've got lines and arcs, and that's okay.
Yeah. My center
But
line got turned off, the one that I created from the center line file, but that's okay.
yes, that's all right. So this one is on C center line new work.
Center line
Uh,
new, yeah.
were you drawing?
That's
You
just
weren't drawing that
2D.
on this, right?
I just
But
drew it in 2D to lay the whole road out, and
yeah.
then I
Well,
used that.
well, what?
I made a polyline out of it later and put on a separate layer.
Yeah. So I'm going to draw this. We'll leave that on C line and uh,
Yep,
just here, just because I could throw it away. So this
yep.
is no, that's not
Yeah, we
that.
could.
That's
Nope,
oops, neither
that's
one.
all junk. We gotta.
All right. Draw that center line. Let's see. Uh,
Do you want me to bring that off to the side, make a 2D
no,
polyline out,
just
and bring it back in? Okay.
well, yeah, just find that center line file that
I
you're
know. I just
using.
yeah. I here. I think it was under here. Oh,
See, that's not it. That's tunnel one
no,
degree,
I
and
just looked
that's
at it.
yeah.
I swear, I just looked at it here.
There
Here it
it
is.
is.
There it is. So there it is.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So
there we go. There we
just
go.
draw. That's fine. Yeah. And
Sorry about all that
uh,
text label, but I'm gonna get
oh,
rid of
wait a
that. I
minute. Wait a
didn't have
minute.
the setting.
Let me do this.
I just didn't want to
If I
label it.
uh, why is it labeled?
I've never used this command because I I've used this command, but I've never done it with labels, so I don't know how to shut that off.
Well, it shouldn't have been labeled. That's what I was.
We could redo it. I have my own command for labeling the center line. It's kind of It's a center line label file I actually created a long time ago. It only puts on what I want, but yeah. There we go.
I'm trying that again. If we draw the center line
Yes, sir.
file, that's the layer.
Yes.
But see, I didn't have that on. That's why I wonder why it did it.
Yeah.
So if that's towpath,
That's the right one.
that's it open.
And there we
There.
go. Yeah. Something
Okay.
happened there. Okay.
All right. And so now we have the 20 foot has
Yeah, I guess it would be
lanes
18. It'd
that
be
are just
8.5 to the edge of. It would be
a
8.5 minus to the left to the edge of the gutter, and then 10 feet to the edge of the curb on either side. Yeah, for that
all
part
right.
of the road right there.
All right. So there, and then we're going to do it again. Oops. Just take it
Yeah.
here and go to here. All right. So that is what it
There
would
you
be
go.
if there were no transition. So what we're going to do is we're going to find where
Exactly.
this intersects that
That other. Yeah, it's
and
actually a little
put it up.
further up. Yeah, right
Ah,
up there. Right, a little bit up further. Yeah,
ah,
that's yeah.
I got, yeah, but I wanted to see something. That,
Mhm. Mhm.
why is that segmented? That should simply be an arc.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it turned it into a polyline. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. So, oh, wow. Yeah.
I didn't know. I've never used this command. I didn't know that it
Ah,
turned it
gotcha.
into a
No, it
polyline.
wasn't the drawing of it. It was uh,
Yeah,
it's the
might be
actual
a
center
setting.
line itself. And I
Yeah, it segmented the polyline, the radius area, but you know.
uh, just do that. It's already pre-selected. There we go. Now,
Mhm.
see how this is a single arc?
Yes, sir.
That's
Yes, sir.
that's what this alignment. That's what that center line file should be. But that center line
Yes, sir.
file,
Mhm.
if you
If you go to the
just
editor, yeah,
yeah, if you go to the editor and look at that file, which was
the one above. Oh, I'm sorry. Go to.
I'm sorry, this one.
There it is. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. There
So
you
if
go.
I look at that, you see it's got all these
Gee,
little
it
bitty,
broke. It busted it into a million pieces.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm. I don't know
That's all right.
why.
No,
Maybe
no
when I was
problem.
on the phone with him, I pulled it off to the side and it had already been turned into a 2D polyline. I think that's what happened. I
Well,
defined it as a
that's
2D polyline. Yeah.
yeah. So we have absolutely no problem because this is the continuity is still
Sorry, but
here, right?
yes, sir. Yeah. It's just
All
that when
right.
I made a centerline file out of it, I must have used a polyline that was already segmented because it was poly. You know.
Mm-hmm. Now we got two things
Yeah.
here.
It's when I made a centerline file before I got line from tech support on the.
Sure. Uh, I'm looking. Oh, there it is. No,
Mhm.
I did the wrong thing. That is, I thought there were more. I thought there was more than one thing there. That's just a video artifact.
Mhm.
Uh, we'll do that, and then there we go. Yeah, it's a single one. Okay, good. So let's just build that centerline file anew,
Sure thing. I think we should because I didn't know it was
and we're
segmented.
going, and we'll call this one. We'll call it towpath. Uh, well, where are we? I'm just going to put a -2 on it just so that if there's any reason to go back to the other one. So up, let's revert. Oop, actually, that's not what I even want to do anyway yet. I need to join it first. Um, oh, you got a small little tangent right in there or something.
Yes, sir. I didn't do any kind of what do you call those curves?
Reverse
Spirals.
or
I didn't do any.
compound. No,
Yeah.
no compounds, no
I
reverse.
didn't do
Okay.
anything. Yeah, I had to keep something simple here because this
Sure. Oh
thing's a
yeah, yeah.
nightmare as it
No,
is.
no. I just want to make sure that it's
There
intentional.
are a
That's
few
all.
very short. There are a
Yeah.
few very short straight
That,
segments here
and
between the.
that doesn't hurt a thing. I just wanted to make sure that it's intentional.
Yeah. I mean, there was. I really did it intentionally because
Yeah.
I said I don't need another
Oops.
nightmare. There'll be another one right there,
That one.
and you start your new curve over here.
There we
There'll be
go.
another segment over there. There you go. There you go.
Just want to be very careful about getting.
And then there's another straight one right there. There we go. You got another one down there. Perfect. Got a straight one here. One of these days I'm gonna do a normal subdivision like a grid. There you
Yeah,
go. There's.
sure.
I mean these are nice, but to drive the surveyor nuts laying them out. There it is. And there's your end of the line.
And that should do it and be done. So now we have a polyline, and just for yucks, we'll make sure that the direction is going. Yep, it goes in that
Yeah, it's
direction,
going
so
nice.
that's fine.
Very nice.
Now we will do the old polyline to centerline file. We're going to call it that towpath -2,
Mhm.
and we'll pick that.
Mhm.
That's its direction. And are we
Mhm.
starting at 0, 0?
We are.
Okay, so that's all well and good.
Very beautiful.
And press enter to continue. And did we
Maybe that's why my offsets weren't working good. That's
get any non-tangential warnings? I don't see any. No.
good. Looks like we're clean.
Yes.
Not bad. Okay.
Okay, so now I'll put that back down.
Mhm.
All right, now let's offset.
Mhm.
And we don't even have to draw the center line now, but if we did, let's do that.
Mhm.
Just like we had before, and this time it's towpath
There we go.
2.
There we go.
There it is, and when we select that there, that's what I was looking for.
Mhm.
All right, so now we're gonna take that 8.5.
Mhm.
We'll go there and
There we
there.
go.
All right, now back on what we're trying to do is we are going to be defining this edge from
That point, that magic
where
point
this
where it hits.
intersects,
Yes,
where
sir.
these two intersect, and
Yes, sir.
we're going to follow along this line,
Yes, sir.
okay,
That's exactly. The
all
only
the
thing I
way
would like
there.
to do is I know the gutter line has to stop at the right of way line, but
Okay.
In order for this to work, we're going to have to temporarily extend the gutter, even a fake gutter, down till it meets the other line, or this is not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Because
Well,
the gutter
yeah,
line
yeah.
stops at the right-of-way line, and this
Hmm.
command, I think, is not going to work unless that gutter, that edge of gutter that we're defining as the template point center line, goes all the way to where I need it to be.
Right.
So,
Right. Well, well, yeah. I mean, you can do this. We do this a couple of ways. We can actually
yeah.
have our road processing start at the right of way, right?
Okay.
And then draw
Yeah,
this
we
in
can
by
do that.
3D lines and
You,
arcs and
we can.
such
Yeah.
to,
Never
to
thought
to
of that.
build the apron. That's one way. But the other way is like, yeah, we're going to be pushing this
You're going to extend that
edge of
line all the
pavement
way to
out,
the edge of
okay?
pavement. Yeah.
And we take that all the way around. Now, then
Mhm.
we could also take uh,
Yeah. You just
the
temporarily extend that line and then, cut it off later. I don't know.
well, yeah, but hang on a second. I'm trying to if we so how when they pave this, are they going to put asphalt up to this curb face all the
Yes,
way up to
sir.
here,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then
That's a
the
stupid right away.
concrete
That's a
starts?
quirky thing. The highway department doesn't
Well, they
want
don't want
any
the
gutter in their right of way, but
yeah. Okay.
and that's a private road, so they don't want any responsibility of anything in there. So surprised even
All
let
right.
us make the curb come out there.
Well, so here's what we could do when we're drawing this line in. We get out to here. Okay,
Mhm. Mhm.
that's the edge of pavement. Remember, we're building the edge of asphalt away from the center line,
Yes,
and then
that's
we
right.
can just step right over to there and come right around
Oh.
here.
Oh. Oh. Okay.
But we'll also need to have what becomes the back of the gutter line or the face of the
Oh.
curb. We'll need to have a separate line
Okay.
to bring it up. Okay.
So, well, you won't need a separate template with a gut. Okay. So
But
basically, you're jerry
well,
rigging the gutter to end. Yeah.
yeah. So here is
Okay.
let me see.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Let's draw a 2D polyline, and we'll take the current and we'll say okay, and we're going to start at
At that
the
magic intersection
intersection.
there.
As long as I can
Looks like it's right
find it
there,
right
sir.
there. Okay, so we're going to
Yeah.
go there, and now we're going to follow
Mhm.
this.
Yes. Yep.
Uh,
You're gonna follow that.
it's not a polyline. That's all right.
Oh, yeah.
We
Yeah.
got to
So you
make it a
can't follow it.
polyline. Let's just do.
You know what I can do? I could take this off to the side, draw it, and bring it back. But the way you're
Well,
doing is fine.
oops. Did I get the right one? Nope, I didn't. All right, now we will draw. or 2D poly from the intersection. There, we're going to follow that.
Mhm.
Uh, and there's its first point. And the last follow point will be down here. And then we're going to follow this one. And its first point is here. And its end point is, where do we say right there?
Yes, sir. That's the better endpoint because that's I don't know why I even extended that. It
Okay, so
wasn't
now,
necessary. There you go.
so that's going to become the edge of pavement.
Template. Yes, that's exactly right.
And that is that point there that's directly opposite my 0, 0, or
Mhm.
hopefully it is. Let's see.
Mhm.
If I take this and offset it through
Probably not
that
exactly
point. Yeah, so it's not, it's
because
just a little bit.
the road's on an 89 degree, not a 90 angle,
Yeah,
90-degree
right, right,
skew.
right. So there's no real problem. You won't even see that
Oh,
little
good.
bit.
We can trim
We
it later.
Yeah, or I don't remember if we give it. I don't recall if we give it start and stop stations for these. I don't think we do. All right.
Mhm.
Well, let's just see
Okay.
what we wind up getting. All right.
This is
All
being
right. So there's
recorded,
that.
right? Yeah.
Yes. So there's
Oh,
that
great.
one.
Okay.
And then so what happens is that this white edge, when it encounters the red edge,
Mhm.
it says instead of starting where the white edge is supposed to start, follow the red edge, and it's going to go over here and come
Mhm.
and it'll do this. But the template includes that
The gutter, that's a
the
problem.
gutter pan and the curb, etc. So
Yeah.
what we have to do is we're going to draw another one to
Mhm.
follow uh, for the gutter pan, and it's basically going to be exactly this same line, just up to this
Got it.
point. Okay, and then it's
Oh,
going to
okay.
continue on. All right,
Right,
and then
right,
we'll
right, right.
uh, and that's the only one we'll need to do because the
Mhm.
curb is defined based on that gutter line, that
Previously
the
defined
flow
one.
line.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly right.
So everything that we push out, if we redefine its position, it pushes everything else in the template
Yes.
along with it. Okay.
Yes.
And I'm thinking that this is going to let us do this split on the curb. Well, if it's only if it's only going to let us do the one template point, then we're going to have to do what you were thinking earlier anyway. But let's
Mhm.
give this one a quick run through. So we have that one, and now let's go to uh, here it is. I want to change to let's use yellow, and we're going to let's just offset this through from here to there. Oops.
Mhm.
We're going to offset this from here
Mhm.
to,
There you go.
okay. Ah, what's
Oh.
I guess I need
sorry if
to.
it's.
No, I guess I need to do.
We could draw right over the top if you want.
No, it's not that. There's.
There you go.
Okay, now that's what I didn't do. All right. So now, at this point, we're going to
Need to put that on another layer.
trim this off here.
Hmm.
And so I'm going to simply erase. To get your polyline toolbar out, it's a lot easier to get it from your polyline toolbar. Don't see it. Let me. There we go. I'll. Okay, so
There it is. Keep to your left, to your left, to your left, to your left.
this.
Farther to your left, farther to your left,
It's not that one.
farther to your
Yeah,
left.
it should
There we
be
go. It's in
this
one
one
of
right
them. To your right, to your
here.
right. Yeah,
There.
there we go. There you go.
Is that?
I've never used that before. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
All right. Which I don't want to
Mhm.
run. I don't want to mess up
Yeah. No, I
your
got it saved under
interface
my.
here. Ah.
I got it saved. I got it saved
Mm,
under my
the
workspace.
profile or
So
workspace. Yeah.
don't worry
Well,
too
you
much about
you
that.
you might have it under your workspace. Do you have your workspace settings set to
I
automatically
do.
save changes? Then then this just gets
Uh
added.
oh, I
Uh,
don't know if I have it set up to automatically accept changes. No.
okay.
Um, I don't think I do because
Which
it.
might be the default. But all right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to now erase this polyline segment. I'll just get rid of
Uh-huh.
that one and this one.
Mhm.
I can. Let's see here. I think I'll just do the same command
Mhm.
for that segment now. And now this, I wanted to. There we go. And I'll just run this out to there. All right, so I think we'll be able to do it this way. Let's take a look with just this part done. So if you go back to, let's see, let's save this drawing quickly.
Mhm.
All right, so let's go back to RoadNet,
Mhm.
and there's that, and this is towpath.
So we just got to come up with a name for the center line template
Well,
or
what? Yeah, we'll have to. We'll fix all
no,
that
the
down here. So
profile
yeah,
transition. Yeah.
so this center line file, I'm going to make sure we use that towpath too.
There we go.
All right, and
That's fine. That one we're using there, we've never changed it.
the
That one
profile
right
that should
there.
be fine. Yeah. All right, so now the uh,
Template's still the same. That's fine.
well, the template should be. Is that the 20-foot 20-foot wide
With the
right
sidewalk only on the right.
sidewalk? Yeah, so that's right. Okay.
Perfect.
So now, yeah, but I'm going to look at this and see that we have, what
Okay.
is
There's your
the,
gutter. There's your gutter.
oh,
And there's
the
your
curb,
curb.
and there's that little dummy
Then there's
thing
that thing
that's
he did that I don't know what happened there, but I know why he did it, but I don't know
that
whether or
one's right.
not we need to use that.
All right, so TG, that's the actual edge of the asphalt. Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't know why he called it top of gutter, but that's what he did.
All
I
right.
mean, we could call it edge of gutter if you. I don't know. Doesn't make. You know,
I
top of gutter is
normally would
okay.
have I normally would have called that EP or EOP,
We
edge of
can we
pavement.
can we can we can we can change it if you wish. Just that we can know
Well,
what
it
we're
doesn't
doing.
matter to me. I just want you to be aware of what it stands for
Okay.
when you're
Well,
using it.
let's just remember. Let me write it down. What it is. It's
Yeah, it's
TG.
your
I got it written
TG
down on my
equals
little
your
paper. So
EOP.
now we know what it
Uh,
is.
yeah, and the reason that's important is that when we define these
Hmm.
edges, we need to oh, let me see here. That gutter is actually composed of a gutter structure. It's
Yes.
not.
Well, the curb is
It's
actually composed of a gutter. That's
yeah.
the only problem
The
I think we're going
curb
to run in here.
the
Yeah,
curb is
the
made
curb
with
is
a
the type
gutter
of the gutter.
section. It's
Yeah,
not. There's not a grade that sets the
that's exactly right.
face of curb. All right. We'll think about that here in a minute. Uh, yeah, we might we might need to do this one transition to go from no curb to no gutter to curbs with no gutter to curb and gutter.
Yes.
I was
Yeah.
thinking that this line was set from this line. It's not. It's set from that curb structure. Okay.
Yeah. In other words, I didn't actually create the gutter as another segment
Right, right,
of
right. And
of
that's yeah,
pavement.
that's what we're doing right now. That's what that assumes. So we will we'll find out what that transition is and we'll go from one to the other. So let's go to this and we have our template. I'm going to edit that and I'm going to do an immediate save as, and I'm going to call this one 20-foot wide sidewalk, 20-foot wide right sidewalk, uh, left,
Just call it modified or something. Yeah.
no gutter.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. And when we get to the curb, we're going
See,
to say
I picked curb one. That's what happened. Yeah.
it's this curb two.
So you want two. Yeah.
Well, let's see. Before we do that, match what your
No, that's okay.
dimensions are. All right, so your dimension, you've got a top and a taper of,
Mhm.
here we go. The top is 5, taper is 1, a 1-inch drop, and 18, and 24. So if we choose 2, top is 5, taper is 1, drop is 1, 18. So
I
that's
took a
all
picture
still.
of my. I took a picture of the screen so I can remember what everything is
Oh,
when you
okay.
go to the
Good.
next one.
So it's inches straight. Base, and we're going to call this one no gutter. We'll call it.
Got it.
Okay. Now,
There you go.
so that would look like that, and that would look like that. Okay. Save.
Mhm.
Exit that. Let's save that as well. Is this, where's our,
Yeah, that's fine. Well, we can go. Um, I've been saving it in
uh,
a folder that wasn't linked, but go to browse. and I'll show you where to put it.
Well, you can do it. You can
Sure.
remember you still have control.
Okay, and then let's just put it in here. It's a CRB file, right?
Yeah,
And we'll call it. Um,
no gutter.
that's left no gutter, right?
Correct. Well,
Okay.
actually, yeah,
Because we're
it
gonna
would
have a
apply.
right. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, just call it no gutter.
Will
It
it apply
applies
to the
either
right?
one. Yeah,
Okay, I'm just gonna
as
call it
long
no
as
gutter.
that's what we loaded up. Right now, we're only working on the left side, but no gutter is fine. And that
Beautiful.
is okay. And then
Okay.
we could do the same thing on that type one, whatever. But we'd have to go
Okay.
back to that other template. So all right, so now we got this template. Save that, exit that, and this is the one that will set. Let's see, sidewalk template. I think. Yeah, see that one? Is
Mhm.
that's the original. So if I do
Mhm.
that, and as I'm here, let's say this configuration, instead of no gutter, we're going to call it with gutter. All right, so now we'll be able to just load and save. And I'm saving of that, but I do need to define the template. No gutter templates.
Mhm. So you put the no gutter one in the template. Okay.
Well,
All right.
we're gonna
Here's where
because
I'm
we're
getting
gonna have
confused
these.
here.
Yeah, we're gonna have these template transitions, so that will take care of it.
Okay.
Uh, so the template transition. Let's see. Let's cancel this for a minute, and let's figure out what's the stationing of that across here.
We could, yeah, we could just use regular dimension
Yeah.
string because it's perpendicular.
Well, yeah, you could.
Or you could use
If
this is
we
better, yeah.
label the station offsets, first alignment, select the cinema. Oh, here it is. That's what I'm for. Towpath 2. I think all I want's the
There you go. You're at 13.291. I'm gonna write that down.
13291. Yep. 13291. All right.
0 plus 13.291. Okay,
Yes. Oh, thank you. Yeah.
got it.
Because I would have done the same thing 13 plus. 0 plus
0
13,
plus
291.
13.291. I just wrote it
Okay.
down because never trust my memory.
And we'll also grab that one is 0 plus 90. I think you already had that
0.43.
one.
That one we had. Yeah.
All right. And then we'll, looks like that one is there too at 1 plus 05, 271. And I don't know that we'll need that one. Uh,
Yeah.
quite, oh, we certainly
Okay.
don't need it quite yet. I don't know that we need those up there to define it. So now
Okay.
we're gonna have a template, excuse me, with no curb. And if we did not modify it, it would build it right here, and
Mhm.
then it would transition to having it right here. Okay, so let's do that
Yes.
part first,
Mhm.
just for the illustration purposes. And
Mhm.
we'll look at towpath, the template transition, and we'll call this one.
Left, I guess. I don't know.
Well,
No.
it's
No, we
it.
call it
This one's just going to be a
generic.
yeah, a no curb to width. curb, we'll call it. We'll just use it to get some things started and illustrated. Where are we? Okay. Hold on a second. Oops, sorry, not drawing setup. All right, there we go. All right, so you're with your drawing folder. Where is your drawing?
Right there.
Okay, and that's in civil site, but all of your data is
Yeah, it's up
somewhere
a
else,
folder.
right?
Yes, it's in a subfolder.
Okay.
That's an old file. Don't worry about that. Okay.
So what I want to do is this. If we, so let's go back to this, see if I can set it from here. If I do, and if I do a template transition, no gutter to with gutter, and that is going to be, you said it's up, it's a sub.
You can go to browse. I'll show you where it is. Go to browse. And the one called design support files, I just put everything in design support files, and you're fine. That's perfectly fine. You could save it right there. That's where everything's going right now. I don't have the sophisticated setup.
Yeah, so what I want to do with that though is to do that so that I don't have to keep navigating to it. But anyway, all right, so here's this. Say open. Now let's edit that. And we're going to go from, we first of all set the center line.
Yes.
Okay. And I can't really get that open any further. All right, so we're going to edit. Come on. Oh, I'm sorry, add. That's the width. Template transition. I can't see where that's. This is. There's more to it, but I can't stretch that out there. Let me.
If you go to the lower right-hand corner, you might be able to see it. Oh, I guess you can't.
Yeah. So here's.
If you maximize this, you can. There you go.
Yeah.
Make sure you
so
got your.
You're
going from
20-foot wide right sidewalk, and
that's the template.
Yeah. What is? Okay. So I need to change the template to the no gutter. There we go. Now, this one, that's fine. Oops. New. No gutter with gutter. And we edit that. Now we add. There we go. So we're starting here. So we begin our transition station at
the 0, right of way, which is 13.291.
Yeah, so 13.291. And we begin the full station. And we have to,
Yeah, that's fine.
I think we have to do this. I think it
Okay.
needs a little bit of like, I'm not sure about that, but I think
All
that's
right.
right.
That's cool.
And then we,
Same thing with the other two.
uh,
See,
we
we got
begin
this far, but
here,
the thing hit the fan right at about this point. You
and
know,
then, yeah. So
and
that
I get
was
confused. You know.
13,291 and 13,291. That should be,
Oh, you don't go to 90.43 or 105. Okay. Okay. Because you're only doing the first
no,
segment.
yeah. Let's just do that instead. That should handle that. All right. Now, yeah, so it's going to be an immediate jump to that next
Yes. Yeah.
series.
Or point
Okay.
zero zero 0.001, which is basically immediate. Yeah.
And now if we add, it's not right.
You got to do it on the right side as well.
No, 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 no. I want it to transition. See if I do. I know gutter. So again, transition here. We go to full at 91. Cut ditch, fill berm. Oh, great. This is good. All right. So now, if we say I want to add the, excuse me, the next template with the gutter.
Hmm.
And uh, I don't see where it's giving me that. Make the template transition. Hang on a quick second. Let's see here. Yeah, it's not so much a transition as a series. Let me see what this is saying. Ah, ah. Sorry.
Hmm. I see.
This is not what we want. We need, of course, a template series, and you do that by a design template or template series file. See up there?
Yeah, you
So
could see
that
the
would
one
be
that
what we do
that Lon made before, but it wasn't for that.
right,
Lon made a
right
different one
there.
for something else. Yeah,
Okay.
so
All right.
she
So
made a
now,
different
all
one.
right. So to now there is no button down here for template series file. So what you have to do is we've now defined two templates. We need
Mhm.
to go to the roads menu and
Template
choose.
series. I think there was a template
Yep,
series editor or something.
right
Area.
here. So we
There we
define
go.
the series, and we're going to call this one a new one. We're going to call it no gutter dash with gutter, just for yucks. We're in our support
Mhm.
files. We say open, and now there we go. We set the center line to be towpath 2. We add from station 0. We choose sidewalk left, no gutter. Okay. Transition with previous and series, that's fine. We say okay. We add, now at this point, excuse me, 13291. Where's our, so 20-foot wide right sidewalk. Okay. Okay. Do I have this in two different places? No. Okay. So your templates are actually in your civil site folder. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. No
Sorry
problem.
about that. I didn't put those in the.
No, no. Quite all right. And say okay. So now left no gutter, and then the one with gutter. That should be all we need for that. And we say exit. And then for this template, it's not really a template anymore. It's a template series. And it is there, no gutter to with gutter. Okay. Now, that being what it is, I say, okay, let's see how this processes. And I'm really more curious about how it draws that. All right, so it takes a jump from here to there. Let's, I want to make sure we can get that correct. And I'm not sure that we, yeah, there it is. So you see that curb?
Mhm. It didn't
Uh,
swing out. Yeah, on the left
well,
side. Okay.
yeah, it went to the curb and then it went over here to, now it's got the gutter pan. If
Mhm.
let me, I'm not
Mhm.
sure. I don't know. Why is it doing that? Little jog. Then we got the gutter pan up the curb and down here. Then that's, it's not a sidewalk. What is that? That's, oh, that's a contour line. That's what that is.
Yeah, that's just. Yeah.
Okay, so we have there's a little bit of transition from here to here, and we want it to be immediate.
Yes.
And actually, it shouldn't even happen till we get up to here.
Mhm.
So this is happening at all right,
Yeah, I'm almost inclined to make that gutter go all the way down to, to the street. But okay, we could keep going here.
all right, so this works at uh, it starts there at
Mhm.
5.144, transitions up at 7.97.
Mhm.
So 5 plus 144 to 7.974. So so that is coming about potentially because of this. We have our station intervals at 50 at intersection 10. Let's make this 1. See if that works. Oh, they had no effect.
Mhm. Hmm. Do you want to take the gutter? It might be worth it taking the gutter all the way down to the road, but then we'll never know how to do this. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me set this back a little bit here. Tie to existing process intersections. All right, that should be okay. Let me see one more thing we wanted to. Is your existing 10 the same thing that I had for that?
No, no. You have to
Oh,
set
okay.
it. There you go. There we go.
All right.
Sorry about that.
No, it's all right. Got to figure out this series, this transition. Ah, there should be no transition. How did that get back in there? All right, there's my template series, no transition. Say okay, save that, process that, see what happens. Still from 0. Transition with. Turn these transitions off. Do we say just do a start? Okay, so no transition. Save, exit, and that's okay. Yeah, go ahead. Hmm.
It doesn't seem to be making a transition at the 13 station. I don't follow what's going on there exactly.
Yeah, see, that should come right up to there and switch because we're telling it to use this template, which was that one with the little short, no gutter curb.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right. There you go.
And then that one is set to be the one with the gutter. All right, so that's all fine.
Mhm.
We are at station 13,
It's
so
not. It's
zero.
not stationing along the poly line that we created. Is it stationing along the center line, right, of the road?
Well, yeah,
Seems
it
like.
should, but
Okay.
up
It's
here
not
is up here's where
stationing off the other line. Yeah. That's
off.
where we
No,
want it to
not
station.
off of
It's
this
not
one. We
going off
haven't.
of that one. Okay.
Correct. We haven't told that. We haven't
Okay.
told it that
All right.
yet.
Good.
So I'm trying to.
Good.
What I want to do is I want to get this to come up here and then just step out and start using it. And
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
don't.
Mhm. Okay.
Oh! I know one thing.
Mhm.
Uh, we have to. Unfortunately, I wish I wish they did this differently in here. Right now, if we're using a template series file and we hit edit, all we're doing is editing the series.
Mhm.
But I want to edit
Mhm.
that actual
All right.
template. So to do that, I have to do it from here.
Okay.
So my design template, here's one of the problems. And this
Mhm.
I'm hopeful might be the only problem
Mhm.
because all we did there was we used
Mhm.
a different curve,
Right.
but
Yeah.
we we didn't
We still
set
got that
that.
dummy thing in there. I don't. Well, I guess that doesn't
Well,
matter.
that dummy thing's fine,
Okay.
but right now that's 8.5 feet.
Mhm.
It's it's not 8.5 feet. It's 10 feet.
Well, it varies because it it
No,
it
if it were
transitions.
straight, if we take the gutter out of that curb, that's an 18-inch gutter. Is that correct?
Yes. It's yeah. That's exactly right.
So that
It is
needs to
10
be
feet. Sorry.
10 feet. Yeah.
That's exactly right.
All right.
There you go. No, I understand what
Save
you're saying.
that. Yeah. Save that. Exit that. I really sort of doubt that's going to magically fix it, but it should do something that we can see.
Huh. At least we
Oh,
got it straightened out. But there's some
well,
missing curb
maybe.
or
We
something there. But
still have that little, see how it's going
the
from,
gutter seems to be transitioning, but just not at the same spot.
yeah, let me,
Yeah, things
I'm
like
going
this
to,
is I don't think they've ever anticipated like complications when they do the most basic subdivisions when they do their
well,
example problems with this
I mean,
on
I've done
YouTube.
some,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the problem with that. But I mean, I've done some uh, pretty sophisticated things. I did one once for an outfit out of a construction company out of Kansas City
Mhm.
that they were, you know how like in the regular cross sectional shape of this road, it's crowned in the middle.
Yes, sir.
So the pavement comes down this way and it goes down that way, but that doesn't really happen if you're joining up to this edge of
No.
pavement here. So you have
No.
to, instead of that, minus two, that's
Yes.
going to have a slight, that needs to match that edge. And so you can
Yeah,
take that
unless
as
they
a
transition it in
three-dimensional
the
line.
shoulder. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Unless they transition it in the shoulder or feather it in the shoulder. But
right. So now let me see if this is going to have an effect. I turned the contours off of there just because I want
mhm.
to get a little more clarity
Mhm.
on this. All right, so here's what's going on. It's going up so far. What is this? That's their offset line. So it's going up so far, and then it's flaring out. But this point right here should be up here.
Mhm.
And this point should also be up here. And that was that 13.291. So let's edit this one more time. And we've got starting at 0, 0, using no gutter. That's fine. If we go to this station, we're using the one with the gutter.
Mhm. Mhm.
Oh, that's fine. And I turned off transition with previous. I don't really need it. So that's my template series. There's something. What the heck?
Oh, we
That was the
the
10 foot.
transition from 8.5 to 10 is what happened. Yeah. So there it transitioned at 0.00 plus zero
Yeah,
0. It transitioned to the 10-foot wide road.
yeah, because I turned the transitioning back on, so it went from the 10 to the 8.5
To the 8.5.
with this curb structure. So my original thinking was correct that I want to do is that I don't want this to transition. I want it to abruptly change. So that should set us back to the same width, which it did, but it goes up to this point and then tapers to that point. I want this to
Yes.
go all the way up to here and immediately
And yeah. Yeah.
transition over.
Mhm.
And that has something to do with this. Uh, and this is not a solution here. I want to see what happens though when I do it. And it's going to take a little bit of processing because it's going to drop that stuff every 1 foot. So let's see what happens. Well, good.
How you doing on time, Ken? We're good. We're uh you're all right,
There
right?
we
Am
go.
I holding you from
I no no
something?
no
Okay.
no no no
Cuz
not at all.
what I was going to propose is we could cut off like at 4 and pick up, but let's keep
Yeah.
going
Well,
cuz I might have to run to another meeting, but
well,
let's
we can
continue.
certainly do that, and let me do a little digging here off the meter a little bit, as it were, uh, and I may can have some answers, and we can reconvene to wrap it up. Now, let me take a look at this real quick. we're getting, well, you can see how the gutter starts right uh, somewhat abruptly there. It's still doing that weird little jog over. And if I add, where is the roadway surface that you're right here, probably? Yeah. Okay. So there it goes. You see how the pavement is red, right?
Hmm.
And it goes all the way out.
Yeah, that's
And then
that's yeah, that's
it's sort of
exactly
what we
what we
want,
like.
except I think we're a little.
That's more or less what what we
Well, that's what
were
we want,
trying to
but
accept.
but
Yeah.
here's the problem. You see where that occurs
Yes.
is right
It doesn't.
there, and
Yeah.
I want it to occur up there.
We want it to occur at 13.291.
Yeah. So
I don't know. It just seems to me like it's occurring. I don't know if it's occurring based on our center line stationing. It seems like it's occur. If it's 13.91, it's referencing maybe something else. But I'm not
well,
100% sure.
no, the 1391 is the uh, the center line. Let me save this exit. Oops, sorry, not that, but exit, so that that goes away. This stationing is if I
Mhm.
see that's exactly what
Where
I
it's
think it
occurring
should
is way
be.
before 13. It's occurring way before 13.91.
Yeah, it's like 5.144
And that number doesn't
or
ring a bell as far as anything that we
no,
entered into the series.
no, it shouldn't. In fact, I forgot to turn this back. Uh, not that network, just so we don't have to. All right, do me a favor.
Mhm.
Do you use Dropbox or anything?
I use P Cloud.
Okay. Send me a link to all of this data that I can put it here locally,
Sure thing.
and I'll
Let
let
me
you
do
get to
that.
your, yeah, I'll let you get to your meeting, but I'll need
Yeah.
the,
Take
uh,
keep
yeah,
track of your time, and then seems to be working
sure.
a lot better than before. And then we'll pick
Well,
up where we left off. Tomorrow I
yeah,
have a meeting at 1 with a client,
okay.
but we
Well,
can straighten the
tomorrow,
fixing the rest of this off maybe
yeah, let me
Wednesday
see
or
what I can get
something.
done tonight and then communicate it back to you. And then tomorrow, let me see. I am
Yeah, tomorrow's gonna be difficult.
pretty clear. I'm pretty clear the rest of the week, except for Thursday night. I have a rehearsal, um, and I'm good. I'm good anytime tomorrow, even tomorrow evening if you want to get back evening. I'm not. I, I'm not suggesting that you go out of your way and work evenings. I'm just saying if it's easier for
Uh huh.
you, I'm willing to. Okay.
Okay.
So
Well, for now, let's touch bases tomorrow
okay.
and in the morning and figure out where you are. I definitely can't do it tomorrow afternoon. Uh,
Okay.
but Wednesday, I'm pretty much. I got a planning board hearing until about 10 a.m. and then
Okay.
in the afternoon I'm good to go because we made a lot of progress here.
Yeah.
And I'll send you all the files,
Yeah. Let me have
only the
those.
pertinent
And
files.
yeah, I'll need this drawing, the dash
Hmm.
can, those two templates, the template series, and your RoadNet file, your RDN file, which I guess I'll need the profile for the road as well.
The TSF, templates, and the TSF, the TPL, and the center line. And then, okay,
And
there's no way that
the PRO.
if I, yeah, if there's no way that I can make a land XML and suck it all in, right? That won't work. I better just send
Not
it
the
to you.
road. Yeah, not the road network file.
No, that's
The only thing you,
proprietary, right?
yeah, well, it's not so much that is it's just not defined in the land XML protocol.
Okay.
The only things
Well, I just,
defined in
yeah,
that are surfaces, points, parcels, alignments, profiles, and
and
pipe
pipes.
networks. Yeah.
Okay. For now,
All
this
right.
is good. I'm going to send you all that stuff immediately. Check your email within the
Okay.
next 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then we'll touch bases tomorrow, depending on how my client meetings go. And I have no problem picking up where we left off on
Yeah. Sure. And
Wednesday.
yeah. And so when I can crack the code here as to whatever's tripping this up, I'll go ahead and get it and model it through, make sure it all looks good, and then when we sit down, I'll back it out and let you go through it
Mhm.
so you see what the process is.
Uh huh.
Um, but we won't be sitting there poking at it with the stick, right?
Sure. Let me ask you this: how do you save the recording and reference it?
Oh, from the session, it
Yeah.
the recording of this, it saves it. It records it in the cloud. It saves it. It processes a little while, and then it sends me an email and tells me when it's done. Then
Oh.
I download it, and then I put it up on YouTube with a private link, and then I can just
Gotcha.
send you that, and that way, just let
Let's do that.
YouTube hold it. Yeah, let YouTube
Yep.
hold it instead of
You have your hard drive.
yeah, instead of you holding it on your hard drive. So just keep it there.
Nice.
The only thing is
Okay.
when it's a it's an unlisted link. So I'll send you the link. You'll have the link. You'll get to
Yes.
it. Now
Yes.
you'll either A, always need to have that link handy, or
Yes.
B, once you get to it, you can then add it to your own playlist. If you make I don't know how familiar you are with YouTube, but if you make
Okay.
a thing, if you make a playlist called tutorials or training or whatever you want to call it,
Mhm.
it's basically a collection of videos you want to go back to later. So you can
Mhm.
do that as well.
Okay.
But
Let me do
all
that
right,
for you. And if I'm missing anything, let me know, and I'll within later tonight I'll check the mail and see
sure, sure. I
is this a
think,
file I'm
yeah, the
missing
key
here and
thing
there.
is the center line, which I think I can recreate. I think it's already in the drawing anyway.
Mhm.
Um, but
Okay.
the profile I will not have. So you need to send me that. And it doesn't really matter that it's correct or otherwise at this point. It just has something to write along. And
Mhm.
then the RoadNet file, which would include the templates. I need
Mhm.
these two that we're looking at right now, at least. And if not all of them, if you have them, we can go from there. But all right.
Yes, sir. You can see that weird thing that's been happening. Probably doesn't happen with IntelliSouth. When I with IntelliCAD, sometimes when I have two or three drawings open, I just lose my
Uh-huh.
commands. I just lose my commands. And
Huh.
by commands, I mean my Carlson commands. I can't use
Wow.
the quick keys. I can't use my pull down menus. I can't use my ribbons. I can't use my icons. And you have to restart the
Really?
software over. And I showed, it's not Lon. There's another guy, Brad or Brian, and
Brian.
we've been,
Yeah.
yeah, we've been through this problem about 3 or 4 times since I downloaded 2021, and we
Hmm.
got it running, and then it goes off again. We get it running, and it goes off again, and I'm a little confused by that because Carlson's been way more stable than Civil 3D or
Yeah,
any
yeah.
other program we've
That's
used over the years.
one of the reasons I switched to IntelliCAD is a number of reasons. Is one
Yeah.
that
Well,
they
yeah.
finally have IntelliCAD mature enough that it can do some of the things I need. There's still some things that I would rather
Yeah.
have the way AutoCAD does it, particularly
Well,
some of the
they've
sheet
come a
set.
long way.
Yeah, oh yeah,
They've come a long
yeah,
way, and I'm waiting for them or somebody else to boot Autodesk out of the market because
yeah.
I'm not a
Well,
believer in AutoCAD, and I don't like the way they've monopolized CAD. And every time I
I
get
know.
an upgrade, I get downgraded.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm at the point right now where I just buy a subscription so that I can use CAD as a background to this. I'm not even
Hmm.
updating. I might not even be updating to my latest versions because those latest versions have so many bugs. My other
Sure.
softwares that run on top of them, like Carlson or HydroCAD,
Hmm.
I can't work with them. So and their tech support is among the worst in the on the planet Earth of
Oh, it
AutoCAD.
really is. It really is. And
You
I've
know, and
had,
I yeah.
you know, we have a very famous little illustration we like to use because I did a lot of work with some people that do like drill pads, in the
Uh huh.
oil and gas industry, and so there's a lot of these
Right.
long fill slopes, 3 to 1, two
Mhm.
to one, usually well 3 or 4 to 1 embankment slopes, and then
Uh huh.
but they want to drain from the top of that pad down to the creek at the foot of that fill slope, but they don't want to just run it straight down that, you know, 30-degree incline. They want to put it down a ditch that they cut into the face of that slope. So it's going to walk
Of
down at,
course.
a, say, a 5% grade, but it's
Yeah.
not
Along a
perpendicular to
contour line.
that.
No, it's along a. It's
Yeah,
not perpendicular.
it,
It's along a contour
exactly.
line that's on an angle. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and
Yeah,
it'd
I
be like at
understand.
5%. So, and
Yes.
it's a very simple command here in Civil.
Yeah.
You've got a let's see if I can find it. It is
By slope on
uh
surface.
yes,
Yeah. There it is. It's three up,
uh,
four up
right,
there. Four
uh,
up. Two up. Yeah.
three right there. Yes, that
Yeah.
command.
Yeah.
And so we have been yelling and screaming and saying to Autodesk, says, why, when will you ever get this? And you know what their tech support slash development team sends back
Yeah.
almost every time is, we can't really foresee any need for this command. Why would you ever want to do
Wow.
this command? I said,
That's
really?
why I hope. That's
Okay.
why I hope. That's why ultimately why Land Development Desktop died, and that's
Yep.
why I'll never be a Civil 3D user.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
I'm working. I told you entirely with this Carlson,
Mm-hmm.
entirely with IntelliCAD on my other computer, and entirely with SiteOps. And who knows? Maybe uh, if I did this little doohickey that you and I just did on OpenSite, maybe template transitions aren't so bad. I mean, there's some things I
Well,
really
yeah,
liked with there, but some things I
open.
didn't. But
Yeah. Well, an open road designer as opposed to open site, which gives you all the really deep civil tools, the drainage
mhm,
and the
yeah,
pipe network. I mean, it is huge. I mean, I bought it myself. Uh, Gosh, I don't remember how much I paid for it. It was like 12 grand for the full license on
mhm,
it. But they have a subscription service that you basically pay as you go. And if you work like a lot of companies, and I used to do this because I didn't have a lot of call for it, except for just a couple of projects. And if you didn't use it in a given quarter, you didn't pay anything.
mhm,
And then if you use it, it was basically like a meter on your usage. Okay.
yes,
But
sir.
then it turns out after about 2 years, you start hitting that break even point. So I just went
Mhm,
ahead and
yeah,
bought the whole thing. Now it
yeah,
is an amazing piece of software. And
it is.
I've got actually more years of experience using its predecessor than I do with AutoCAD tools. This came out of the old Intergraph days, and that
Yes,
was what I started with back in the early '80s down in
yeah,
Texas.
mhm.
And so it's not like I'm totally unfamiliar with it, but
Well, DOT
and of course I've
used it
used
a lot,
AutoCAD
and yeah,
since. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. But it's
and
great. But boy, is it
yeah,
complicated. I don't want to. It's
it
sophisticated, but man, is it complicated?
well, it
You
is,
know.
and it's tough for newbies to come up with,
Yeah,
uh,
a fast
with
transition.
being
I'm
able to
really
use it
spending a
out of
lot
the
of time. Yeah.
box. Yeah, it really
Oh
is.
yeah,
So
I couldn't even get a line drawn. I was
yeah,
pretty
so
discouraged when I.
well,
And I don't forget,
it's
I
such
got
a
it just because I needed site ups. I got it just because I
yeah,
needed
yeah,
site ups. I
yeah,
mean, they
yeah,
packaged it together. You can't have one without
yeah.
the other. So,
That's
and I
true.
need site
That's
ups.
true.
So,
Yeah. All right. Well,
site ups tech
we'll have
support
that
was the best
conversation
I've
too.
ever seen. Yeah, we will.
Yeah. Don't you just love Chris Crowder? He is from
Yeah,
originally. I think he's still down in Charlotte, but I think he's originally from like I want to say Clearfield, PA. So he's up
yeah,
toward your way, not
yeah.
not all the way
I
your way.
think
Still in Pennsylvania,
I've
but
I've tapped him for so many little questions. I think he's sick of me by now because he actually
yeah,
knows me by
you know,
first name. I think he's
yeah,
tired of. That's how many little things he actually knew how to solve. Things that I never. I
yeah,
mean, he told me how to jerry rig like if you design your own pond and you don't want the
hmm
software to do it. He told me how to do it,
right,
and
yeah.
it was. I don't
Well,
know. I mean, he
yeah,
thinks
and
he's
I
got a different mind.
well, he does. And I used to think like you did. I used to think, well, gosh, he's going to get tired of hearing from me. He's going to just keep going. No, he's not. He's doing what he was born to do, and that's to be a support
Yeah,
resource
he
for
is,
people.
and he used to be
And
a designer,
and
so
he
he understands
loves,
where we're coming
yeah,
from. Yeah,
exactly. And he
yeah,
loves to be that help. So yeah,
yeah.
don't keep leaning on Chris. And next time you
I
talk to
told
him, tell him I said, hey,
I told them, you guys. I mean, when I heard they were bought, I said, "Are you guys going away?" They said, "No, no, we'll be here in the background," because
yeah,
I was off beside myself. I mean, Tom Cruise taught me the software,
yeah,
and he was good, and he was a nice guy. He was nowhere near of the ability of. I better not say this. I'm being recorded, but I'm not going
yeah.
to show it to these guys. But Tom
That's
Cruise
right.
was really good, but
Yeah.
uh, Chris and the other guy who runs the seminars were pretty amazing. So what I'd like